Previous to this, I've worked as artist liaison manager for 4 years. I did one loadout many years ago when everybody had to go straight down to Hyde Park immediately after this, and I did one loadout with Nick. But apart from that, this is my first year overseeing, the bigger picture.
Hannah's on maternity leave. The interesting thing is, little known fact is Emma's actually worked with me for longer, haven't you? Emma was with me from when I originally set up my own company many years ago. Emma has event managed a lot of our other events, around the country, so she got that experience.
Which a lot of people I don't think know, so they think I've gone from artist liaison manager to festival manager in one fell swoop.
If you can run artist liaison at Download Festival with all those bands and do it well, then I think running the festival is an easy step up. And I've been really pleased. Like I said, because I've known Emma for so long, it was an easy process. She asked me, "Are you sure I could do it?" And I was like, "Well, I wouldn't be asking you to do it if I didn't think if I wasn't sure." And she shouts at me just as much as Hannah does, bosses me about. So it's like home from home, to be honest. And the key thing for me is the team. I'm very proud of the team, and I've always pushed that.
We've got some really strong people, and everybody works together. And their work ethic. They're all. The other night we were having to tell them to go home because they'll stay here all night.
I mean, there's one lad who came and did work experience with us this last year and loved it so much, and he was so good. We've had him back. The build-up was tough because it was hot. As soon as we opened the campsite, it started raining. So it's not quite as simple as getting the overhead photo of last year and saying I'll have that again. We still live by the motto. Hannah's favourite saying, "Every day's a day at school." Every time we do a festival, every time we do have a meeting, we learn something, and it's about filtering out, what we need to put into place to improve things. Will we ever get it perfect? I hope not, because I want to keep pushing and pushing. But the site, we've got a great relationship with the venue now. The relationship we have with the police, fire, ambulance, and everything is second to none. It's absolutely fantastic. Spent a lot of time in the planning process. There's a lot of respect, mutual respect there, and understanding, and most important, trust. I'm really pleased this year with the arena. We spent a lot of money on the arena during the winter on permanent roadways, additional drainage, putting in fibre optic for our communications, and it was worth every penny because when the rains come, the arena's held up really well. So I'm pleased with that. Campsites, we've taken on another 21 acres of campsite, so to give the customers more space. I was just saying to somebody, you can have the best planners in the world, you can design the best site in the world, you find out where all the holes are when you let 90,000 people in. If anybody's going to find out where there's a hole, it's the customers. New security company in the campsite this year, Showtech are now doing the entire site. That's worked really well. Really pleased with that.
They've been really good. They've brought in a lot of their managers, their permanent members of staff. They've still sub-hired some companies in, but just the management structure has made such a difference.
In the briefing, Simon was saying it's the least amount of subcontractors they've ever had on a job of this size. And that's only a good thing, And listen, there's nothing wrong with subcontracting. You have to subcontract, but it's about making sure you're subcontracting to the right people, and that's what they've worked on over the years. So they've taken on the campsite. Alan Wallace running the security in the campsite. He's built I'd probably safe to say, a very good relationship with Mick Roberts, campsite manager, like a bloody comedy double act. The police again. We had a new police bronze looking after the campsite. He's absolutely fantastic. So it's all our concerns have kind of gone away very quickly. LED message signs around the campsite that we can have different messages on different signs. We can have the same message on every sign. So we had a missing persons the other day, 14-year-old, been separated from the family, up on the screen, and within hours we'd found them and reunited them.
They've made a real big difference. The screens have. So we can use it to, they're in the arena as well, so we can use them to advise the public of any set time changes, any emergency messages, directional messages. They've made a real difference.
It relies on the wireless network system. It all runs on the wireless network system. So that's got to be robust enough for them to same as CCTV. We've got I was sat having a cup of tea this morning with one of the police officers that was involved in the early years, And we were saying, I remember the first year of Download, our control room was a porter cabin with 2 screens. We had 2 cameras, a radio, and a pot of tea, and we used to just sit there talking about football. And now you could land the bloody space shuttle, from our control room. It's that's how big it's got. We had the zip wire last year for the first time in Victoria Park as part of the work we were doing for the Olympics. And you may recall Mr. Boris Johnson got stuck on it. Nothing to do with me. Did get us loads of publicity there. And I just thought it was great. And the Mellors that run it, they've done a lot of work on it over the winter. It's clear they've done a lot of work. And put it in this year, and it's fantastic. We found Utopia in Victoria Park last year. Emma, who ran Victoria Park, was impressed with them. We just, thought we'll have a change, see how it goes. Yeah. Been really impressed. Catering at a festival site is important because it's, army marches on its stomach, and I've only had positive feedback so far from the crew. So got a Greco again. Greco we worked with on the Olympics. No major reasons. It's not that we were unhappy. It was just, a lot of it's to do with price. You've got to negotiate. Greco are a big company; they can afford to negotiate better terms. We've got 25 guys working on the site, and it's we've seen the difference. It's things are getting done when we need them done, and
yeah, they're a really, really good company to work with. Like John said, they did Hyde Park and Victoria Park last year, and just their processes, and they own a lot of their own generators. They know where all of their generators are. They come in and they've got a system where they know where everything is in the whole of Europe. They're a really good company to work with. Got some really good crew.
Well, this year it's set up for 90,000. I mean, we've actually got space to go to 120,000 people. I'd never do that. I think the biggest we've ever had was 3 years ago at ACDC, which we went up to 100,000. Yeah. And that was enough. It's not. The arena's fine, but the campsite we couldn't. We've got no more land that we can go for the campsite. Yeah. The transport infrastructure, the road network. It's. I think anything more than 100,000, I think would probably bring the East Midlands to the standstill. So most of the problems we've had over the last 4 days have been non-event related, which is a bit annoying.
And that's come from the police, not
it's the police telling us. No, it wasn't your fault. It was they had a lorry crashed on one of the motorway islands, and it closed a couple of major A roads, and it was on all the BBC news bulletins it was download traffic, it's chaos and blah blah blah. So nothing you can do about that. No, there's only so many rock fans in this country, and I think we're quite happy with Download where it is and the capacity we're at. Yeah. I think we've tried to do that. We've tried it in the past. The early years, we did Download in Scotland. We tried it in Ireland, and and got caught out. So we're quite happy where we are. We work a lot closely than we ever have done with a lot of other festivals, mainly on safety. Yeah. When it comes to safety, then the commercial side of it is put to one side, and we all, we share a common goal, and that is to make our festivals as safe as possible. We had an accident last year where somebody didn't know if the car coming towards them with the hazards on was turning left or right, and there was a collision. And it's purely simply because they both got the hazard warning lights on and didn't know what they were doing. So now we ask everybody to turn their headlights on and keep the hazards off and use their indicators accordingly. We're also encouraging site vehicles to have yellow flashing beacons. It's the kind of thing that we're learning from the building trade, the construction industry. We learned a lot. To be honest, the main thing I learned last year was about politics. Yeah. Dealing with local governments and organisations such as LOCOG, the GLA, people like that. That was a massive learning curve for me. And we're back in the Olympic Park this year, so it's helped. It's civil servants make some very odd decisions, and you have to understand the reasons why they're making them. Otherwise, if you don't, you just get all bitter and twisted and